We got a huge laundry list and the announcement of the official gameplay trailer for The Sims 4 Lovestruck coming Thursday. Hello, my name is Jennifer and welcome to my Sims 4 news video. So I'm going to cover both of those, but also there is a sale going on right now on the EA app. And there are some pretty good discounts if you're looking to get anything. And that sale actually ends right as the trailer starts. And if you are interested in picking anything up, thanks to the EA Creator Network, I actually have an EA affiliate code, and it is MapleSimmer, which you can apply at checkout under the promotions, and that would help support my channel if you're interested in doing that. So let's get back to the announcement for the official gameplay trailer. So as I said, that is going to be on Thursday, July 11th, and in my time zone, that is 1 p.m. Eastern. And for The Sims, that's 10 a.m. Pacific. And if you go to the premiere on their YouTube channel, it'll actually tell you what time it is in your own time zone. So you can see there what time it is for me. And you can even turn notifications on so that you are notified when they go live with that trailer. It does look like the gameplay trailer may be about the Cupid Corner app, because that little screenshot in the thumbnail is what they show when they talk about Cupid Corner over on their blog post. And the description says, looking for tips on how to find your special someone? Tune in Thursday, July 11th at 10 a.m. Pacific for the Sims 4 Lovestruck gameplay trailer. So that seems to me like that's what it is. So moving on to that really big laundry list. The Sims tweeted and shared across various social media, Sul, today we have a laundry list with an increased number of community reported issues that we aim to resolve the next patch for an improved gameplay experience. And then it linked to the laundry list. And in the laundry list, which I'll cover after I go over a few other things first, they say that this is in this upcoming month, which I expect will be July 23rd, which is like 2 days before the Lovestruck pack comes out. I don't think we're going to get laundry list bug fixes like say next week and then the game pack prep the following week. It's going to come as one. I can't imagine it would be done any other way. Then they went on to say, to stay on track, the team continues to dedicate their time to prioritizing more fixes to include in each update. This is our second release, with the next scheduled in roughly 2 months. And when they're saying it's their second release, that's since they gathered their team together to try and work on fixing the game. And they had done the announcement for that back in May, which we'll take a look at after we see this final part of the tweet, which they always do, where they say, as always, there are topics being worked on that are not listed that are being actively reviewed and require an extended investigation or further information. So please continue reporting, and me too, any issues on AHQ, i.e. Answers Headquarters. So if you have experienced any of these issues and you're playing in a mod and custom content free save, they're always looking for saves from players who don't play with mods and custom content. Obviously, console players don't either, so PlayStation players can send their saves in. Xbox, my understanding is they can't, but a lot of times if you go over there, they're looking for saves and more information, and they really need reports from players who don't use mods or custom content. So just as a reminder, this was their message from a couple of months ago, where they essentially commented that they had assembled a team to invest in, the core game experience and essentially fixing it. And then on that laundry list that they had shared at that point, so this is the one from May, they comment here, is why they set out to form this focus team so they can have more fixes and how often they release these updates to us. And their goal was to fix more reported concerns, both big and small, over the next 6 months and beyond, to check off more boxes on our laundry list. So the first release from this team was in May. This is the second from that team, i.e. in July, and then the roughly every 2 months, that's what they're saying. We're going to get another one in roughly 2 months again. And also, it seems like beyond. So one thing I had wondered about was, what is going to be the impact on mods and custom content with this update? Even before I saw this laundry list, I was already wondering this. So Turbo Driver did share this. Get ready for the upcoming Lovestruck game patch on July 23rd. So he thinks it's the same day that I do. That's when game updates are before pack releases. Thursday pack releases. And then he goes on to say the update and expansion pack will most likely affect some mods. I would have thought it might have affected most mods. we will see. But he's saying some mods. And he's also saying if you do use his mods, he's going to be away during that time. So fixes to his mods will be slightly late. So if you play on the EA app and you want to avoid the update and the pack temporarily, you can just disable automatic updates with the EA app. And you can wait till both he is back and fix them, and any other modders whose mods have broken have fixed their mods. Well, I guess we'll see after the update, which is 2 weeks, what the actual fallout is from that. So here we are with the actual laundry list and the introduction to it. So they essentially say to stay on track with the goal stated in that previous laundry list, which I covered it about the doing a lot of the fixes. The team continues to dedicate their time to prioritizing more fixes to include in each update. And again, it's the second release. This time they are tackling over 60 issues to make for a better gameplay experience. I counted 70. So this is the top list. There are a lot more topics, as we know, because there's pages of issues there. And also some things are just, they don't have the solution for them yet. And so they're still working on them, which they've already said in the tweet. And they're saying here again, and keep reporting over on Answer Headquarter and adding Me Too's and all that things, which we've already discussed. So let's take a look at what's actually on the list. Though, as a summary, I noticed there were a lot of Create a Sim type fixes to clothing and accessories, which included some various issues with fingernails, and I counted about 15 of those. There were also some build buy type fixes, both in how some things looked and mismatched swatches, and also how they were in live mode, and I counted about 9 of those. And there were a couple of DirectX fixes, DirectX 11 fixes, I should note, and that only affects Windows players and is currently opt-in as of the May update. The game currently uses DirectX 9 as a default, and many, I would say most, Windows computers probably support DirectX 12. So 11 is one step below that, and 9 is even further behind that. So I'm not sure how long it's going to be opt-in terms of before they actually switch it to be DirectX 11. But right now it's just there as a trial while they try and work out any issues with it. And even though there are a couple of DirectX 11 fixes on the list, there were a couple that aren't there, including one where the photos and paint by references can go black in some saves if you use DirectX 11, and it's not permanent if you go back to DirectX 9. The pictures show again, but I didn't see that particular issue noted as being fixed on the laundry list. There is also the top 10 and the most hot issues. We'll go over that at the end. And I didn't notice any of the real current issues being fixed. Those are probably those deep issues that they don't have the solution to, but they're looking into. But there were a few things from the top 10 that were fixed on here. And we'll take a look again, like I said, at the end. So for console, there were 3 things. One was a base game, which is reduced processing lag occurring a few minutes after launching the game that resulted in stuttering sims. That's supposed to be fixed. And there were a couple of things for rent. So you can now enter rent per day with a controller. Previously, you had to use a keyboard and mouse to do that. And then you can change the floor up and down on the D-pad instead of bumpers on residential rental display and world selective view. Hopefully that's a good thing. I don't play console, so I don't really know. There's the gallery item there is DirectX 11. So for base game, you can see some things here. There's actually more. It's longer than what's showing on this page. But a lot of them also have to do with romance type things, which makes sense given the theme of the Lovestruck expansion pack and also what's coming in the base game update where they're adding the ability to have polyamory relationships. So Sims will no longer receive a breakup want when they have a high romantic relationship with that Sim, which seems good. There's a DirectX 11 one. This one, when a sim changes path without stopping, i.e. canceling and changing their route, they will no longer teleport to their final destination. I think that's one of the things that may be on that top 10 issues. Here's one that's the top of the top 10 issues. Toddlers will receive top-notch and happy reward traits after achieving required skills. Yay, that's been a bug since the before the high school years update. So that the game update that came before high school years, it's been a bug since then. So 2 years, finally fixed. Fingers crossed these things are all going to be fixed. Here's one, the stair railings. That's one of those build by type things. Create a sim one. Here's one that's good. When two Sims are on a date, other NPCs on the lot will stop trying to join a conversation, causing awkward conversations. That's good. And not surprising that they're trying to fix things like that, given like the theme of the pack. I actually wish that if two Sims who are in a relationship were talking to each other and just doing a normal conversation, that other Sims could join in and it wouldn't be an awkward conversation either. Because if you're not doing anything romantic, you should be able to talk to a couple who are like married or whatever and not have any issues. I get that a lot. Here's a couple of fingernail ones that I said, as of 15. Here's another one. Enchanting and flirty interactions are not available if not correctly aligned with gender preferences. Previously, they were incorrectly appearing regardless of preference. So that's a good. Here's a, build by, something to do with transparent glass being included. Make a move interaction is now available between married Sims created from CAS, and I guess it wasn't before. Another accessory thing for toenails, a hair texture one. This is a build by, but it can now place large curved walls on large curved platforms. And the trailer looked like, the announcement trailer looked like there was curved pools, so I wouldn't be surprised if that's in relation to that, so kind of not a surprise. Though I don't know how many, I think there's quite a few issues with curved walls, so hopefully, I don't know. Hopefully we get more fixes, but I don't see any more fixes other than that one on this laundry list. Another one to do with build by and the stair drop also. So the knowledge of a Sim's sexual orientation and their Sim profile will now remove outdated information when that Sim changes their sexual orientation and create a Sim. So that's good that that's going to be actually correctly updated without having to do it. And then upon learning a Sim's woohoo interest and opening their Sim profile, the Sim profile will no longer say no on when the Sim has woohoo interest in women and men, or vice versa. And there's one to do with multitasking, not dropping the book off. Teen Sims will no longer feel jealous around a previous teen romantic partner who's aged up. There's a skinny dip, won't show up if there's no one to actually skinny dip with. And Sims will now kneel instead of sitting cross-legged when wearing one of several Create a Sim costumes to prevent strange visual stretching. There's something with busted dust where they're getting multiple dust system negative buffs at the same time. That's not supposed to happen. Cats and dogs, there's a Create a Sim one. So cottage living, foxes will no longer appear in managed households looking like creepy rag dolls. I get that a lot. And Finchwick Fair submissions will now properly return to Sims inventory or their household inventory after the fair is over. So I've lost a few things recently since that's been a thing. And it's not very good when you lose your animals. It's not so bad if it's like the other things, but I don't really like losing my cow, my chicken, or my llama. So hopefully that's actually fixed. Dino. There is one thing to do with clothing, but the rest hopefully will make it easier to run. Not a lot, but they're actual fixes, unlike some of the things which were just Create a Sim. And it looks like they're supposed to eat better and whatnot. Here's a funny one. Discover University. Professors will no longer run away when attempting to take them on a date. Again, fitting for the theme of the pack and the update, but also funny. For rent, not a lot of for rent bug fixes, unfortunately. And my guess is that's because some of them are hard to fix. Because one of the biggest issues I find with for rent is that residential rentals, it's very easy to corrupt saves if you don't do things exactly right with them. And there is a bug report with respect to corrupt saves, but it's not explicitly linked to for rent and residential rentals because it was an existing bug report before for rent came out. But it's increased the number of reports and related to residential rentals like a lot since then. So, but it doesn't actually show under the for rent issues, even though it is a big issue. Though I don't actually know if I noticed that on the top issues type list, but it is pretty big. Maybe that's because people aren't really using them. But anyways, you have a few things here. Name a residential rental lot will stop reverting back to default name. Rent amount should display consistently based on unit size and amenities, and tenant relationships now appear in the business filter tab within the relationship panel. Get famous is a Create a Sim item. Get together. I was expecting this, actually. Interactions will finish and fully complete when using the get-together closet to woohoo, try for baby interaction. And the make out with also will work with the closet. So with that, the workaround was to not have it in a wall and just have it sitting there. But if it was placed in a wall like it's supposed to work, it wouldn't work. And I was expecting this because the pack has that new type of closet. It's not the same. It's like, from what someone was saying, like the get-together closet slides open and close, where this looks like it has a door that physically opens and closes like a regular door. But the concept is kind of similar, it seems. So I'm guessing it's going to be something you place and that they, woohoo or probably make out in them too. But I don't know. I'm just speculating there. Growing together is just a build buy type thing. High school years. The top one, the other two are create a sim build buy, but the top one is one that is on that top 10 list. Teen Sims can now sneak out to a college party to complete their aspiration goal by using, I should say, the Ask About College Parties phone interaction with other teens and then sneak out through an openable window, which essentially is the window that comes with the pack. So I have never got a call for a college party. Very rarely I've gotten calls, but they have never counted. So this is, I guess, how they fixed it, is that you could actually trigger it by asking about college parties. So yay for that. Maybe I might actually try and do that aspiration now. And Horse Ranch, there's 3 descriptions of features for Chestnut Ridge, and they're now going to be included at the World Select. And there's some things with horses and how they move around and whatnot that look like they're supposed to be fixed. Moving along, Journey to Batu, more fingernails. My Wedding Stories. They have a few fixes here, which is good. Cakes at a wedding will contain a reminder tip that only the sim who plans the event can select the wedding cake. So I'm guessing there was a bug report about it. And it probably wasn't actually a bug, but it just was miscommunication of how it worked. Here's one that's kind of fun. You can now call off the wedding on both the sim and the wedding arch while performing the vow interaction. So, because that was an issue, and I know, I think Not So Berry, the second generation, you're supposed to call off the wedding, and you couldn't do it with a My Wedding Story wedding, which isn't so good because it replaces the base game wedding. Sims with a low hunger motive will not eat the wedding cake until instructed to do so, so that's good. And now, Sims not from Tartosa can travel there to marry at the town hall. And Sims will not sit on the floor from please take your seats. If there aren't enough chairs, they'll continue to stand. So just a general for occult packs. Occult rank status for non-household occult Sims can now be seen in the Sim profile. And linked form occults will properly apply CAS across forms using the Apply All button. Party Essentials kit is a Create a Sim one. Riviera Retreat kit is a Build Buy one. Seasons has that, Build Buy one. And then they can now use an indoor pool in freezing conditions. The outside temperature won't affect the pool inside. So, yeah, you can actually use it. Toddler Stuff is another Create a Sim one. I said there was quite a few. And then for werewolves, all 3 of those are Create a Sim items. And there you go. That's the whole list. So it was a really long list. And like I said, I counted about 70 items. And, some were Create a Sim, some were Build Buy. And the rest were actually pretty good ones. Though, here are the current issues that are from, the summary over on EA Answer Headquarters. And I can't say that I noticed any of these being fixed in this, but that's probably because they're long-term big issues. Even the plants reverting to dirt piles, that was supposed to be fixed with the last update. And I think it was partially fixed, but it's still an issue. They tried to fix it. Maybe that wasn't even the last. They tried to fix it by changing how it worked, but it doesn't fully work. But I don't think it's as bad as it used to be. Now, here's the popular now, top 10. So that top one, the toddler's not receiving top-notch happy toddler traits on aging up, that was in there. I think the jumpy animation Sims teleporting was probably one of the things that's supposed to be fixed in that list, from what I could gather. And then that bottom one is the never invited to parties, and that's the high school years issue where you weren't getting that college party invite that you needed to be able to complete that goal of one of the high school years aspirations. I didn't see any of the other ones on the list, unfortunately, but at least we got 3, so that's kind of good. But let me know what you think about the laundry list and if these things affected you in your game. And are you excited to see the gameplay trailer? I'd love to know in a comment down below. But that's going to be it for this video. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!